Welcome back, everyone. It's that time once again where we're going to take a look at the sky as well as the cards below and get some insight on what this new moon in Aries has in store for us. So this new moon, March 21st, 2023, spring equinox as well. So there's a lot of synchronicity around this new moon. Is at 0 degrees. And so what's really interesting is that we have like the spring equinox that's aligning with this new moon, and Aries is all about personal sovereignty. And this new moon is very cleansing. So, we have the themes of like spring cleaning and freshness and new beginnings. New moons are typically thought of as being new beginnings. So it's said that the moon draws in energy during this time. And this is a time in which we can plant seeds of intention. And then on the full moon, she releases it into full expression. So I think this is very interesting that we have this rather detoxifying new moon at the same time of the spring equinox. So 0 degrees, very interesting as well, because when an alignment is at 0 degrees, it's often said that we are going to get the pure expression of that sign. So this is 0 degrees in Aries. So the pure expression of Aries is the pioneer. It's the sovereign self. I also look at Aries as somewhat being associated with the inner child too, because of when we're children, we are developing our sense of self. And Aries very much has those kind of themes in its periphery. So we also have Neptune that's doing some very interesting things at 25 degrees in Pisces. Imagination and intuition is going to be heightened. And then we also have Jupiter at 16 degrees in Aries and Chiron at 14 degrees in Aries. So anything that Jupiter touches, it expands. And Jupiter is in some ways like an amplifier, and Chiron is the wounded healer. So if you have been feeling like there have been maybe some beliefs that you just are having a hard time kicking, that aren't helping you out, if there have been some things that habits that really don't serve you, but for whatever reason, it's really hard to let them go. If there are certain patterns that are showing up and you've been having a hard time wondering why this pattern consistently comes up despite all the spiritual work that you're trying to do, this will lead to some clarity on what the root of those things might be. This is a very healing moon. And we're going to get into see what the cards have to say about this in a second, but when I saw this, my first thought was that for folks who are truly committed to transformation, for folks who really aren't afraid to do the work and to look at the shadows and to really heal and evolve and grow, this is going to be a great new moon for them. For folks, though, who are more into spiritual bypassing, who prefer to be distracted versus to transform, to heal, and to grow, this is going to be a difficult moon. This is a moon that is all about going within. In fact, trying to seek outside of ourselves for answers at this time probably isn't going to be as productive or as fruitful. And in fact, one word of caution is that because this is bringing up so much stuff for people, and to be aware of projection from other people. So Neptune, its shadow side is delusion, and so this could have an effect for some folks who are resisting healing, who don't want to have self-mastery or self-awareness. For folks who are running away from that experience, it's more likely that they will probably instead project those shadows onto other people. So if you get some interaction with folks where they are shitting on you, telling what you should do, if you feel like they're being judgmental, anything of that nature, rest assured it probably doesn't have anything to do with you. And it probably has to do with that there's this energy that is at play here that is helping us to reassess our plans, to reassess what we want, and to be able to move forward with a lot more freedom, because that's what's at the end of this. So in 28 days from now, if we take advantage of this, we will be more free creatures. We will have a new beginning. We will have new perspectives. But for folks who don't want to take advantage of this energy, we might find that we become their sounding board. And the best thing to do is just walk away and just do your own work, because it's probably, because of delusion, it's probably not going to be very fruitful to try to argue your way through that. So it's not an airy-fairy thing, because this is a very fiery new moon. And also we have Pisces in water and fire. When they mix, the thought that comes to my mind is distilling. So when in the process of distilling water, you heat the water up, and then it goes through these tubes, right? And then when it cools down, the pure water comes out on the other side. And so the process of filtering this water has to do with heat, and that's very much what's happening right now. We have our water element of our emotions and our subconscious, and it is being heated up, so to speak, so that we can see what's truly serving us and helping us, and what might be holding us back, or what might be something that we have held on to for catharsis, such as certain addictions and ways of being that really aren't helping us anymore. So rest assured, it will give us more clarity or more perspective, even if it isn't the most comfortable. I'm shuffling the cards here. The one thing the quote that comes to my mind is a Buddhist quote, I'm paraphrasing, is that pain is inevitable in life, but suffering is optional. So this new moon will definitely give us clarity on what is it that is unavoidable, and where is it that potentially I might actually be causing myself to suffer more than I have to. That would be like a 10 of Wands kind of thing, where we're working harder than we have to. All right, so just join me here in asking to have the cards and the messages that pertain the most to you and your situation, that those messages will pop out. They'll be highlighted to you in some way. All right. How might we utilize this Aries New Moon, March 21st, 2023, to serve our best and highest good? What is the opportunity here? Okay, so the very first card that comes up is we have the Hangman reversed. When this guy comes up reversed, it means that we have been clinging on to some outdated perspectives. We might have some assumptions that aren't really true, and this particular new moon is going to bring up the possibility, the question of like, oh, how much do I actually know about that? Is that still true? Maybe it was true at one time and it's not anymore. Is that belief still true about me? Or if I don't like that truth, is there another option? Is there another possibility that's open for me? That's all things that the Hangman reverse wants us to be questioning ourselves. So now is a really good time to be journaling, to ask yourself some of those kind of deep existential questions, because this is all about communicating with our divine highest self, with our guides, and to deepen our spiritual experience. These perspectives that the Hangman represents is causing us to be stuck. So the Two of Wands or Two of Swords reversed is like we're at a crossroads, but we haven't been able to make a decision. So wherever it is that you might be feeling the most stuck, the most resistance, rest assured the Hangman is saying that there is some element within that. It doesn't mean that there isn't external influences, but there's some sort of element within that where you do have influence over the situation, or at least how you're relating to the situation. You're actually a much more empowered than you think, because that brings up the Princess of Swords. The Princess of Swords is about communication, and it may even be about a fresh approach. So I think it's very interesting in this card that she's actually facing the wind is what it looks like. And that's what this new moon in Aries is telling us to do. That Aries is the pioneer. So this is about self-exploration. It's about reinventing yourself. And in order to reinvent ourselves, we have to take a look at all the parts so that we can put it back together in a way that makes sense, that's sustainable, and that hopefully works better for us in the future than it did in the past. So this is like an existential cleaning out of the closet. A lot of times during the spring, people clean their closets out, clean out the garages, whatever. And that's what we're doing with our hearts and our minds right now. I want to take a look and see if we can get some more information, please, on the Hanged Man reversed. What kind of perspective shift could we take that would help us get unstuck? Help shift that Two of Swords reversed energy to be more right side up. Okay, so part of the stuckness for some of us might actually be like that there's too many options. There's too many options. Seven of Cups is like there's all these different ideas, there's all of these different options, but it just hasn't landed into anything. We can see all of these different potentials, but we haven't really committed to any course of action. Maybe because we're afraid of failing, or maybe because we're afraid of succeeding, or maybe we're afraid that we're gonna put in so much energy and work into something and then not have it actually work out. There might be some disappointments from the past that are now influencing how we're relating to potential future paths or future decisions that we could make. So it's just that there are a lot of potential, and right at this moment, which is also very interesting because we have like a lot of this cloudy energy here, and that's kind of what I feel from the Neptune in Pisces at 25 degrees, is that it's almost like the fog is there, but if we can just spend enough time and go ahead step by step, where eventually it's like almost going to be like the slow unfolding of the answers that we're seeking are going to reveal themselves. But we have to spend enough time going within to dig out those kind of answers. The other card that came up was the Four of Wands. Very good card. This is a I feel like this is like just a reaffirmation that if we do this work, that we will have a new foundation at the end of this. The Four of Wands is about foundation. It's about harmony. It's about everybody like working in balance. And so that's what this is about. It's about creating a new foundation within, which then will reflect in our external circumstances. This also very much reflects in the semi-square that we're having with Uranus that is in Taurus. So Taurus is about our physical environment. It's about our home, its hearth, its wealth, its beauty. And Uranus is the planet that like clears the slate and is about revolution, it's about change. And Uranus has been in Taurus for a while, so this isn't anything new. However, with it squaring off with the moon, and the moon being in Aries, the sun of course is also in Aries, and it's at 0 degrees, a lot of these decisions I'm seeing probably they will have a reflect in our physical reality. So it's almost kind of like this aha moment of like, oh, like that's the next step, or oh, like that's what I could do, or oh, I've been feeling this way or relating to this situation in a particular way, and I can see where if I just tweaked my perspective or my actions in just even maybe a small way, that it might have a real profound effect. The other thing around this too is that we have a grand trine, and it is with the midheaven in Cancer, the south node is in Scorpio, and the Saturn is in Pisces. So Saturn also being in Pisces, with Neptune also being in Pisces, that's kind of interesting. Saturn is about karma, and it's about time-bound consciousness. So we have the imagination and the intuition in the same sign as the planet that is about karma and time-bound consciousness. And this is also including family inheritance, such as our beliefs, genetics, and things that we've inherited from our family, not just money. So this is allowing us to have a clearer, direct communication with spirit, and to be able to use our imagination to imagine new possibilities. Our imagination is actually where we manifest. We kind of have been taught to dismiss this part of ourselves as just being like something that we pull out for fun every once in a while, but your imagination is one of your most powerful tools. And here, with these three energies together, we have Cancer and the midheaven. So that is about our emotional landscape. Again, we're seeing this kind of squaring off between the water and fire elements. Scorpio is also water. Scorpio is about death and rebirth, and that's the south node. And the south node is our past. So south node is in the past. It's about death and rebirth. Then you have the deep waters of Cancer, which is our emotional landscape, and it's also about how we feel nurtured and supported in life. And the midheaven is a big part of like how you express yourself. So are there things in which you need to ask for that you maybe haven't asked for in order to be supported in the way that you very much deserve, because you deserve all of the good things, all the good things. And then it allows us to have a clearer perspective of how the past might be creating, we might be digging the past up and actually projecting it into our future. So if there are certain patterns that have come up and the past keeps repeating itself, same type of toxic relationships, same unhelpful job situation, same. This is the time to stop the past from being echoed into the future. And the way that we do that is we have a new way of relating to ourselves, and that is what the new moon in Aries is here to teach us. If we can choose transformation over distraction, if we can choose ourselves and doing the slightly uncomfortable work of self-mastery, then it will pay out in dividends in the future. We will see ourselves more free. We will see ourselves feeling more whole, more confident. We will have more surety of the future, or at least how to relate to the future. There's a lot of really good stuff in store, but this new moon in Aries is going to make us work a little bit for it. So that's what I have for this. So thank you so much for joining me. If you are needing a reading, inner child healing, toxic powder remediation, anything of that nature, then please reach out at my website at www.bethewholeyou with just the letter u.com. And I look forward to seeing you here in a couple of weeks where we're going to take a look at the full moon. Bye-bye.